One of the things that I wanted to pick your brains on is, traditionally Agile has been leaning on the idea of having teams collaborate within the same room, being able to be, informed at all times of what's going on. How does this work in today's world where, more and more companies are going remote, teams are going remote across different time zones? What are your thoughts on this? Has much changed in the process or?
Well, I mean, the pandemic has had its effect here, but the issue there is time zones. Our technology is pretty good at letting us into the same virtual space, even if we're scattered around the country. We can all be in the same Zoom meeting or on the same Google Hangout or whatever. So our technology there is good enough, but time zones are a real problem. A team that is spread across 8 time zones cannot be a team. They just cannot be a team. They're not going to have enough overlap, right? You need to have hours of overlap where people can talk to each other and communicate with each other in a nice environment, whether that's a virtual environment or an in-place environment. Doesn't matter that much. I'll come back to that in a minute because it does actually matter. But at least being together, even in a virtual sense, is good. Time separation is extremely difficult. So this notion of 24-hour-a-day coding as the programmers go from time zone to time zone, I don't think that's a very effective approach. If you're going to distribute your team geographically, distribute them north-south. Don't distribute them east-west. Now, Zoom meetings. Well, it's much better to be in a space. It's much better to be in the room. Body language matters. The little mumblings that you hear matter. The look of fear on people's faces matters. All of this stuff matters. It's much better to be in a room together than it is to be separated virtually. So my belief is that once the pandemic peters out sometime in the spring, people are going to start coming back together because it is just more productive. Just is.
You're optimistic about the pandemic, by the way. If spring's kind of the deadline for you on that.
Well, I'm an optimistic guy in general. I don't look at the bad side of things. I tend to look at the good side of things. But yeah, I think this pandemic is going to be over. Now, maybe it's not spring, maybe it's summer, but I don't think it's another year. I think it's over. We're going to have the vaccines. We're going to have the treatments. We have a good understanding of it, and it will just fall into the normal background of normal crap that we have to deal with all the time. And, we'll just say, okay, great, COVID's here, fine, whatever. Get your shots. If you get sick, take the treatments, whatever, and life will go on. We are not a species that likes to be sequestered in our homes. Human beings are social animals. We get out and we talk to each other. We interact with each other. We touch each other. And if temporarily, we might pull back from that a bit, not long.